Thank you very much for joining us for the Camnet TV menus. To present it, my name is Marco Kwakoze. Let's take a look at the stories making the headlines. Former President Edgar Lungu sued for unsettled debts. KACHASU traders in Lusaka struggle to find alternative livelihoods. UPND-SILWIZYA Ward 16 Councillor NANYANGWE re-elected as Lusaka Deputy Mayor. And in international news, a Libyan government strikes deal with militias. And in sports news, Copper Queens hold first training in ACCRA. For details of these and other stories, join us shortly after this break.
It's a January back-to-school promotion bonanza at Darren Bay. Take advantage of our massive price discounts and turn your wonderful school-going kids into stars. With a cornrows hairstyle going at only 30 kwacha for kids below 13 years and 50 kwacha for kids above 13 years, your child is guaranteed that neat and trusted, classy look. This curly, knotless hairstyle is going for as little as 150 kwacha from as high as 200 kwacha, wigs included. Now that's a classy saving. The sleek ponytail going at 80 kwacha from 120 kwacha makes your little one look like a true princess. Gift your pretty one with this lovely natural twist for as low as 60 kwacha from 100 kwacha, beads included. Now that's a cute saving. Your princess will look stunning in this curly ponytail at only 90 kwacha from the original 110 kwacha. Now that is a great deal. You will find us along Mosi Road, 4th Close, on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post in Ibex Hill, Lusaka. We are open from 0720 to 17 hours, 7 days a week. Call us for appointment bookings on 0772 870588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049213. Darren B, a touch of class.
With the news in detail, my name is Marco Kwakoze. KACHASU traders in some densely populated areas of Lusaka struggle to find alternative sources of income. A tour at Kanele Market in Lusaka's garden compound found women and men actively involved in the sale of KACHASU, an illicit beer. Loveness Daka, a resident of Lusaka's garden compound, explains in an interview with Camnet TV that brewing KACHASU is a sole means of supporting her livelihood. Despite being deaf, Ms. Daka emphasizes that this business has been essential for her well-being and that of her family. Meanwhile, a medical expert, Teddy Mulenga, has urged citizens to avoid consuming such substances due to the potential of health risks. Here's a report.
KACHASU brewing here in Lusaka Kanele's garden compound has become a reliable alternative source of income, especially in the face of harsh economy. Majority of the brewers are women thriving to make ends meet for their families. Mainly, it is considered as an easy startup business as it does not require much capital, which makes it easy for the people to start up. One of the brewers of KACHASU, Loveness Daka, spoken to by this journalist, says it is her only source of income as she has tried other businesses which have not yielded profitable results. Ms. Daka says she's aware of the measures against the brewing of KACHASU, but that's the only way she can survive and make ends meet. However, a health expert has warned of the dangers of this brew, saying it mainly targets the brain, thereby killing the brain cells. Dr. Teddy Mulenga advised against abusing the local brew, commonly known as KACHASU.
Clearing the data out of the liver, that's what it does. The next one to suffer is the brain, your brain cells die, you lose memory, you lose looking after yourself. You know, you are always dirty because your brain cells are dead and you're not thinking straight. The next one will be the kidney. It destroys the kidney, you have kidney failure. And without a kidney, the next step is death. So these are the changes that KACHASU can bring to the body.
Myths around this brew are that the local brew prevents one from contracting cholera and COVID-19, which medical experts have strongly disputed. Prudence Chibwe, Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Online Taxi Drivers Association has charged that the new support measures that LUNGU plans to implement will not have any significant impact on the business. In an interview with Camnet News, Association President Lucas Chanda says the 11% increase in tariffs per kilometer in urban areas is not significant considering the current harsh economy. Mr. Chanda disclosed that the association is working on developing a model for taxis similar to the one bus drivers have that stipulates a fixed price per kilometer and will be presented to the Minister of Transport and LUNGU soon. Here's a report.
On the 21st of February, LUNGU announced support measures to partner with drivers in Zambia. The measures include an increment of the cost per kilometer inside the LUNGU tariff for drivers up to 23%, which is broken down as follows. In the economy mode, the cost of a kilometer in urban cities will be increased by 11% and in suburbs by 22%. In the comfort mode, the cost of a kilometer in urban cities will increase by 12% and 17% per kilometer in suburbs. In the comfort mode, the cost per kilometer in urban cities will increase by 15% and 23% in suburbs. This increment has not elated the Online Taxi Driver Association that says the increment is a drop in the ocean as its impact will not be felt by the drivers. Online Taxi Drivers Association President Lucas Chanda says the 11% increment on the economy mode that is majorly used by customers does not amount to anything.
Remarks, I would say LUNGU hasn't done anything. To be honest, LUNGU hasn't done anything because most of the clients, they book economy, and economy they have increased about 11%. What is 11% of 20 kwacha? It's 2 kwacha, 2 kwacha 2 ngwe. Now, really, how much is the fuel pump price today? Per liter we are buying at 34 kwacha 19 ngwe. Is it adding up? It is not adding up. So that one, it is not making sense to the drivers out there. See what happens to Minibus and Taxi Drivers Association of Zambia. They have got their own model, and this is whereby whenever the pump pricing of fuel increases, they also increase the fares. So we need to also come up with that model whereby for us it will determine the per kilometer, how much per kilometer we'll be charging. So we
And Habenzu Mulanda, a LUNGU driver, says LUNGU should remove the customer feature that allows customers to reduce the price as this affects their business.
The prices are just too low. And then bayamba wamene wanafaka ka option ko gweza mteki. Customer upgrades, it brings confusion. And then food na percentage ane badiamo is just too big. If they can't increase the fares, kasi ku percentage ane badiamo 17%, babwezeko.
Mr. Mulanda says LUNGU should allow drivers to see the price of orders before they accept the ride as a way of showing transparency in their business.
If you go honest, let's say you enter Paist Park, Adipira Zingat, not to go to order Ibuera, Vabisa Chan, which means there's no honest even for any cheap. ukachikana chi order futi kuti ma punishment but block almost every day those private vene bachita so that tifuna bachite chabe improve, otherwise it's a good thing manje kasebenzedwe kawa skari mushi. There's no transparency or pamono pe business iliyonse. A person must have a choice, either he orders zaitenga or iyai chani bapisira nichani.
Meanwhile, Edmond Mwemba, a Yango driver, had this to say.
Nasiya bana kunyumba kuti nipanga wakali konse nikureko unga so unga nofunika kukura 3 days kuti nikwanisi yokura unga mulandu wako bati inyambula ma 20 kwacha ma 13 kwacha 15 kwacha sinipeza ma profit iliyonse mayona so kufunika at least baikirako yabgono noti ma 2 kwacha iyo ni simve karoko wani kwalipe impact iliyonse enempe nukuruko chapo.
Online taxi drivers continue to hope for better conditions of service from car-hailing companies. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
LUNGU District Commissioner Chomba Chileshe has bemoaned what he termed as disregard of presidential directives by the Lubasenshi Constituency Development Fund Committee. Mr. Chileshe observes that the CDFC in Lubasenshi constituency has thwarted implementation of various projects under CDF. Speaking when he flagged off the distribution of 547 school desks to 21 schools in the district, Mr. Chileshe said local people in the area are in a hurry to see the results of CDF. He has since directed the committee to terminate any contract which has exceeded the contractual period. Here's a report.
Few days after Lusaka's Kawata constituency flagged off the distribution of desks to 7 schools, Lubasenshi constituency in LUNGU district, Northern Province, has flagged off a similar exercise. LUNGU District Commissioner Chomba Chileshe flagged off the distribution of 547 school desks to 21 schools Wednesday at LUNGU Boarding Secondary School.
I've been sitting on the floor during lessons. This will now be history because of our able government. These 547 desks will go a long way. We as pupils can promise you that we'll work extra hard to support the efforts of the government. May the Almighty God continue blessing you.
Receiving the desk, District Education Board Secretary Wanita Mulenga appealed to civic leaders to help sensitize members of the public on safeguarding the furniture.
Parliament, may I also make an appeal, and also our area councillor, that you also help us to sensitize the communities. These desks should not be vandalized. We shall also put in security measures to ensure that all the classrooms are security tight.
Meanwhile, officiating as guest of honor, the District Commissioner bemoaned the slow pace at which Constituency Development Fund CDF projects are being implemented in Lubasenshi constituency.
That the CDFC have allocated some funds to procure only about 1,875. Meaning, we still have a deficit of more than 2,100. Where are we? Where are we? This is the presidential directive. And once the president directed to say, you need to do this before this, it becomes a law.
Mr. Chomba has urged the Lubasenshi Constituency Development Fund CDF committee to review and terminate contracts that have gone beyond the completion period.
It is never too late. Go and sit down. Reverse some of the issues. To tell you the truth, I will write a report over this. And the owners of the money, the one who is giving us the money, will decide.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula.
The ruling United Party for National Development, UPND-SILWIZYA Ward 16 Councillor Katie NANYANGWE has been re-elected as Lusaka Deputy Mayor. Ms. NANYANGWE polled 24 votes, beating her closest rival, Independent Kalikiliki Ward Councillor Shadrack Chimwanga, who polled 14 votes. Earlier, drama had characterized the special council meeting held at the Civic Center in Lusaka Thursday morning.
Can you see the street? No way.
Drama and emotions characterized the Lusaka City Council chambers during the mayoral elections at Lusaka Civic Center. The elections were contested by ruling United Party for National Development UPND-SILWIZYA Ward Councillor Katie NANYANGWE and Independent Kalikiliki Councillor Shadrack Chimwanga. After dramatic stoppages, Ms. NANYANGWE, who was recontesting for the seat, emerged victorious after securing 24 votes, beating her rival Kalikiliki Councillor Shadrack Chimwanga, who scored 14 votes.
Hi.
Katie NANYANGWE.
Katie NANYANGWE.
Having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor for the city of Lusaka.
Having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the city of Lusaka.
Do hereby declare that.
Do hereby declare that.
I take the said office upon myself.
I take the said office upon myself.
And will duly and faithfully serve.
And will duly and faithfully serve.
And fulfill the duties thereof.
And fulfill the duties thereof.
According to the best of my judgment and ability.
According to the best of my judgment and ability.
Outside the chambers, a crowd of UPND supporters gathered to offer support to their own. Meanwhile, speaking to the media shortly after the elections, the losing candidate in Shadrack Chimwanga advised Ms. NANYANGWE to be impartial in her service, while the re-elected deputy mayor has promised to be a mayor for all Lusaka residents, regardless of their political affiliations.
I have accepted, and I think I've run my race. At least I've given a competition. So I'm just wishing her all the best. What is important is for the deputy mayor is that she has to be a person of everyone. She has to be a people person. She has to serve all the councillors equally. This is what is the most important aspect. Because if she decided to the other side and maybe ignore the other councillors, it will be it won't be proper leadership.
I'm very happy, I'm very excited, not just for myself but also for the party, the mighty UPND, starting with the president, the vice president and all the leadership structures, and also our soldiers behind. I came to Lusaka City Council to work for the innocent Zambians, the UPND and everybody else. So henceforth, we want to unite Lusaka City Council. We want to work as a team, as PF, them and ourselves as UPND. We are going to embrace everybody.
A total of 39 votes were cast, with 1 vote having been declared as a rejected ballot. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
$5,767 candidates out of the 10,926 have passed the November-December 2023 Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia competence examinations. Speaking during a press conference, a council registrar and chief executive officer Beauty Zimba says the number represents a 52.80%, down from 60% pass rate recorded in May-June 2023. Mr. Zimba says 5,101 failed, representing 46.7%, and 26 students having results nullified due to their higher education institutions recommending them without meeting the set standards. Here's a report.
The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia has recorded a 7.20% decrease pass rate in the November-December competence examinations to recording 52.80%, down from 60% in May-June 2023 examinations. Announcing the November-December competence and licensure examinations in Lusaka, Council Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Beauty Zimba said out of 10,926 students, 5,767 passed, representing 52.80%. Ms. Zimba disclosed that the highest number of students, accounting for 6,679 students, sat for diploma in nursing program, with 3,062 passing.
And a total of those who failed is 5,101, representing a failure rate of 46.7%. 26 candidates had their results nullified due to their higher education institution recommending them without the set education and training standards. In addition, 32 students were disqualified due to examination malpractice throughout the country.
On the other hand, the registrar revealed that for essential examinations, the highest number, counting 490, sat for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing and only 200 made it.
Midwifery licensure examinations and only 4 passed, giving a 12% pass rate. Let me repeat. And 33 candidates sat for the Bachelor in Nursing and Midwifery licensure examination, only 4 passed, giving a pass rate of 12%. Meanwhile, 4 students sat for the Bachelor of Science in Midwifery and had a 100% pass rate. For the Bachelor of Science in Oncology,
Mrs. Zimba says the results will be available in various learning institutions starting Monday, 26th February 2024. She has since advised those who have not made it to work hard and resit the examinations. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Center for Environment Justice, CEJ, is calling on Zambian insurance firms to swiftly provide compensation to farmers participating in the Weather Index insurance programs. CEJ Head of Research and Studies, Freeman Mubanga, disclosed that farmers, especially those in Southern Province, are grappling with irregular rainfall patterns and are seeking clarification from insurers regarding compensation methods. Meanwhile, Citizens First Party Deputy General Secretary for Politics and Operations, Dr. Kefas Mukuka, has urged the government to conduct a survey in order to identify the affected farms and offer grants to facilitate their recovery and fresh starts.
Small-scale farmers in Zambia represent the vast majority of about 90% of the country's agriculture producers. But for the 2023-2024 farming season, most small-scale farmers will have nowhere to point at if the dry spells persist for a few more days as their crops are losing life. The Center for Environment Justice has since appealed to the insurance companies in Zambia to urgently compensate farmers enrolled in weather index insurance schemes.
In light of the current situation that has affected many smallholder farmers in Zambia, we understand that the weather index insurance schemes are a brilliant innovation moving forward. However, there are several challenges that have come to our attention, and this is why we are recommending a number of issues that these insurance companies should take into consideration. Number one, there's need to invest in operational capacity for the insurers themselves to ensure that their services they are providing are meeting the needs of our local farmers in Zambia. Secondly, we understand that there's need for transparency and communication with the farmers. And then also we need technology that is quite advanced on how they assess crop loss assessments. This should be done in a way that farmers themselves can also appreciate the process.
Meanwhile, Citizens First Deputy General Secretary for Politics and Operations has advised the government to conduct a survey to determine the number of affected farmers and give them grants so that they can start afresh.
It is really sad for the farmers. This is the more reason that government should now open up themselves to see to it that they help peasant farmers who are now facing this unbearable situation, they need to give them some grants and not loans. Let government come up with the statistics on how many peasant farmers are there in each province so that they can help them out, so that in the next farming season they can start afresh and they can start strong.
In recent days, disturbing images have circulated on social media where crops in some parts of the country are giving up, and if dry spells continue for a few more days, farmers will lose their investment unless a miracle happens. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
A state witness has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court how Opposition Patriotic Front faction Vice President Given Lubinda requested for a 300,000 United States dollars loan facility from a Chinese firm. A 48-year-old Philip Chibundi, a lawyer, was testifying in a case where Mr. Lubinda is facing corruption-related charges. In his further testimony before Magistrate Stanford Ngobola, Mr. Chibundi testified that when the accused requested for the loan facility, he surrendered a title deed for his property as collateral, which was retained after he repaid the loan in 2022. Here's a report.
A lawyer for a Chinese company, Kuinao Ruchang Cotton Industrial Company Limited, Philip Chibundi, has testified before the Lusaka Magistrate Court that opposition PF faction Vice President Given Lubinda requested for a $300,000 loan facility from the company. In his testimony, Mr. Chibundi says the PF Vice President requested for the loan facility and in return surrendered a title deed for his property as collateral, which was retained after he repaid the loan in 2022. In this matter, Mr. Lubinda is facing 4 counts of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. In count 1, allegations are that Mr. Lubinda on March 3, 2018 received $50 million from China African Cotton Limited property reasonably suspected of being a proceeds of crime. In the second and third count, it is alleged that on February 2, 2019, the accused received $100,000 and on December 23, 2019 received $80,000 from Kwendao Runchang Cotton Industrial Company Limited property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. When the matter came up for continuation of defense before Magistrate Stanford Ngobola, Mushanti Indanda, an executive officer at the Anti-Corruption Commission SCC, produced a warn and caution statements from Mr. Lubinda which were recorded by the Commission in 2022. After the testimonies from the 2 witnesses, Mr. Lubinda closed his defense, prompting Magistrate Ngobola to adjourn the matter to April 18th, 2024 for judgment. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A businessman has sued former Republican President Edgar Lungu over unpaid debt of $336,000. Happy Mwaba Maganta is demanding for $336,000 for campaign material supplied in 2016, including branded caps, t-shirts, and wristwatches. According to an affidavit, the plaintiff wants the Lusaka Magistrate Court to compel the former head of state to settle the outstanding bill. Mr. Mwangata alleges that attempts to claim the money were thwarted by Mr. Lungu's aide, Chisanga Chanda, both during Mr. Lungu's time in office and after he left in 2021. On that note, we take our first set of commercials. Still ahead, we have more in local news. Don't go away.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260-763-062-680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
It's a January back-to-school promotion bonanza at Darren Bay. Take advantage of our massive price discounts and turn your wonderful school-going kids into stars. With a cornrows hairstyle going at only 30 kwacha for kids below 13 years and 50 kwacha for kids above 13 years, your child is guaranteed that neat and trusted, classy look. This curly, knotless hairstyle is going for as little as 150 kwacha from as high as 200 kwacha, wigs included. Now that's a classy saving. The sleek ponytail going at 80 kwacha from 120 kwacha makes your little one look like a true princess. Gift your pretty one with this lovely natural twist for as low as 60 kwacha from 100 kwacha, beads included. Now that's a cute saving. Your princess will look stunning in this curly ponytail at only 90 kwacha from the original 110 kwacha. Now that is a great deal. You will find us along Mosi Road, 4th Close, on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post in Ibex Hill, Lusaka. We are open from 0720 to 17 hours, 7 days a week. Call us for appointment bookings on 0772 870588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049213. Darren B, a touch of class.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Some pupils based in Chongwe and Rufunsa district in Lusaka province have called on the government to seize the opportunity of the International Children's Day of Broadcasting to tackle various challenges affecting the children. Speaking during the preparatory workshop on ICDB organized by World Vision in Chongwe for 40 pupils from 10 different schools in the 2 districts, Zewelanji Sinkala, a grade 11 pupil, underscored the need for addressing climate change, citing instances where pupils abscond school to sell crops damaged by the dry spell. Here's a report.
In recent days, the country has been hit by a dry spell induced by the El Nino, a situation which has led government to respond through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, through the provision of relief. In light of the situation, some pupils in Chongwe and Rufunsa district have disclosed that some learners are now missing school in view of helping their parents with means to survive as their crops have been damaged. The pupils, drawn from the 2 districts from 10 press clubs in 10 schools preparing for the International Children's Day of Broadcasting ICDB, called for the need to focus on adaptive agriculture measures, just like an old saying, children are future leaders of the country. Speaking during a preparatory workshop organized by World Vision on journalism for this year's ICDB, which falls on 3rd March 2024 under the theme Children's Voices, Children's Rights, Our Collective Responsibility, the pupils, however, calling for the need to address their concerns beyond the broadcasting day.
For example, poor farming practices, cutting down of trees, even other human activities like industrial waste exposure. So now this has affected our environment. For example, now, as of Zambia, we're supposed to have rains by now. Maybe even farmers have planted maize and other crops so they can have something to support themselves. Because there are no rains because of climate change, it's difficult. So now this has affected children the most because their families, a lot of families in Chongwe that depend on farming as the main source of income. Now they are unable to send those into school. Their education is being affected.
What government to do is to put power stations. That place needs network, a lot of network for the people, the day scholars to research more about assignments, because if they don't research about assignments, what are they going to
continue? Because it is not all the children who are going to be live on air and the sound of missing out the program. So just continue so that you can give chance and opportunity to those who are not other day.
I appeal to the government just to set up organizations, programs that may educate children on the problems that they may face if they drop out of school, sensitizing them the importance of going to school and abstaining from sexual activities.
As the workshop continues the following day, representatives of the 40 pupils are calling for the extension of the program to other parts.
Are encouraged to attend these clubs. They will have that full information which they will help their parents back at home, and the community at large will benefit from it. And also if we also encourage these learners to attend these clubs such as debates, which will help them in future to become future leaders. Like in parliament, they will be able to debate without difficulties. So as teachers, really, we are doing all we can to encourage our learners to be...
Our learners understand the importance of journalism, and I believe amongst them, even the interest will be different. They may decide to become journalists in the near future. My appeal to World Vision Zambia is that they can quickly expand this through subject association.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Chongwe.
The Ministry of Youth and Sport has disclosed that 65 athletes will take part in the 13th edition of the All African Games from March 8th to 23 in Accra, Ghana. Minister of Sports Elvis Nkandu says Zambia is participating in 12 sports out of the 26 sporting disciplines at the tournament. Mr. Nkandu has urged participating athletes to strive for medals. Here's a report.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts has announced a 65 team of athletes to travel to the 13th edition of the All Africa Games in Accra, Ghana, slated for the 8th to the 23rd of March 2024. The group will also comprise of 24 coaches and 6 medical personnel.
And when you add these numbers, it will come to 65. So I think for us, the team that we are sending will be about 100. So I'm not trying to get away from what was reported. Obviously, we just mentioned 65 athletes, 24 coaches. Obviously, the minister will be the delegation leader, and others. We also have the media covering this. So it will be more than 100.
Speaking at a press briefing on the preparations for the All Africa Games, Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts Elvis Nkandu says the country will be competing in 12 sporting disciplines, among them badminton, swimming and chess.
Sports codes, which include the following. We'll compete in athletics, where we have 12 athletes and 4 coaches. We have badminton, 3 athletes and 3 coaches. We have cycling with 4 athletes and 2 coaches. We have table tennis with 4 athletes and 1 coach. We also have swimming with 5 athletes and 2 coaches. We have tennis. This is for Olympic qualifiers. We have 4 athletes in tennis and one coach.
Mr. Nkandu has also urged the various sports federations in the country to tap talent from all 10 provinces if the country is to improve in the sporting sector.
And excellence in sport by providing an opportunity for our youth to participate in different sporting codes. It should stand as an inspiration to all national sports federations to ensure that you cast your net wide and be able to tap talent from all the 10 provinces of Zambia, especially rural areas. Let me emphasize on this very important point. Tapping talent.
He has also urged athletes who will participate in the All African Games to work hard and come back with medals.
The federations to work extra hard, and also the athletes that have been selected, I want to encourage you to work even hard, especially those that have been left out. I think it's a challenge that you need to navigate. by making sure that next time you work extra hard so that you are also picked.
The athletes are scheduled to enter camp on the 23rd of February and leave on the 4th of March for the games. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Government says it stands ready to support initiatives aimed at developing sports in the country. Sports Minister Elvis Nkandu says government is ready to support the hosting of the Zambia Golf Legends Championship scheduled for the 12th to the 18th of August 2024. The minister said this when he officiated at the media launch of the championship, which has been organized by Brandline Africa. He said that the event will give the country an opportunity to sell itself to the world in terms of tourism. Meanwhile, Brandline Africa Managing Director Luyandoyoyo says the Zambia Legends Championship Tour aims to attract the world's most distinguished golfers, showcasing their prowess on the lush greens of Bonanza Golf Course. And Legends Tour Chief Executive Officer Phil Harrison said the championship will see various legends traveling to Lusaka to participate.
Zambia Golf Legends Championship will create employment, of course, for our local people. It will also boost tourism, as we are also trying to promote sports tourism. I think this will be an enabler for what we intend to achieve. So obviously to really boost tourism in our country and also promote sports development. It is for this reason that government takes delight in initiatives such as this one, which exposes the sport to a wide audience, to attract new players and expose them to professionals of great experience and skill.
We believe that if we're going to partner with government and the private sector, there must be lasting development and change that is seen through every project that we take on. For us in the Zambia Golf Legends Championship, that development is going to come from not only developing junior golf, but also developing sportsmanship, developing an attitude and a spirit of mentorship from the highest level, the levels that we are going to learn from the Legends Tour in terms of what these mentors and these professionals bring to their sport and to their career and how they've managed that is something that's going to be passed on to our junior sportsmen as well.
I mentioned it earlier, a lot of our players, they started their career in Africa on the what was known as the Safari Tour in those days. And in fact, Ian Wisdom's a good example. Wuzzy won in Zambia. He went on to win the Masters, 3 World Match Plays, World #1 for 52 consecutive weeks, 7 Ryder Cups, and Ryder Cup captain. I think he won over 60 tournaments around the world. But this was the catalyst, playing here and playing in Kenya and the likes. And I'm sure Wuzzy is very excited to come back. We've also got our tournament director, Paul Carrigan. We want to do it again and again and again. And again.
I guess a handshake is in order. Thank you, sir.
The Cleaning Association of Zambia has petitioned the Ministry of Labour to immediately halt the operation of a named cleaning company for abrogating labour laws in the country. Association President Lawrence Makumbi has accused the company of engaging in fraudulent activities, money laundering and stealing from its workforce. Mr. Makumbi has further disclosed that the named company has neglected to comply with the recently raised minimum wage implemented at the end of January.
Zambia has written to the Ministry of Labour to demand the immediate seizure of operations of Nemchem International. We have asked for this immediate seizure of operations of Nemchem International in Zambia because of fraud, money laundering and theft from poor workers. The company has been working in collaboration with the bogus union, the National Union of Professional Cleaners and Allied Workers. For the past 7 years, they have been stealing money from workers by NEMCAM deducting from the workers' salaries and yet not remitting to any union account. Hence, we have asked the minister to revoke Section 3 of the Labour Act, where they are given the power and authority to seize operations of a company. That is abrogating the law, and abrogating the law by stealing from poor workers and also not paying the required minimum wage to workers. 15 million has been stolen from workers, 7,000 NEMCAM workers in the country, and hence we are putting a demand on Ministry of Labour not to leave any stone unturned. We are asking the police, we are asking the Anti-Corruption Commission to make sure that this company, this foreign cleaning company, ceases operation in Zambia, and we don't want any corruption in this matter. We want justice for the 7,000 workers. And the Ministry of Labour, the Minister of Labour, the Labour Commission must make sure that this is done.
Yes.
On that note, we break for some commercials. We have more news in international sports news. Don't go away.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Armed groups that have been controlling Libya's capital for more than a decade have agreed to leave. The Interior Minister, who is part of the UN-recognized government, made the announcement. In a press conference, Mr. Trabelsi said from now on the militia's place is in their headquarters, adding that the Libyan government will use them only in exceptional circumstances for specific missions. Here is now a roundup of international news.
Foreign ministers of the G20 gathered Wednesday in Rio de Janeiro to discuss poverty, the climate crisis and heightened global tensions. Brazil, which took on the annual presidency of the bloc, laid out its priorities. It notably pushed for stronger representation of developing nations in global governance institutions and multilateral banks. Brazil's presidency of the G20 focuses on three main priorities: the fight against hunger, poverty and inequality, sustainable development in its economic, social and environmental dimensions, and the reform of global governance. The meeting of the G20's top diplomats comes as the world's conflicts seem to spread. Brazil's Mauro Vieira said more than $2 trillion a year is spent on military budgets globally, where it would be needed for development and aid programs. Brazil is deeply concerned about the current international situation regarding peace and security. According to some estimates, we have reached a record number of ongoing conflicts in the world, more than 170, while geopolitical tensions are also on the rise. The representatives of the 20 leading rich nations are set to spend 2 days setting a roadmap for work to accomplish ahead of a November summit in Rio. Finance ministers and central bank presidents will meet later this month in Sao Paulo.
Former Nigerian head of state Yakubu Gowon, who was one of the founders of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has called for the lifting of sanctions on coup-hit countries ahead of an emergency heads of state meeting in the region. Gowon, on Wednesday in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, warned ECOWAS was threatened with disunity. The former head of state of Nigeria from 1966 to 1975 is the last living witness to the creation of the West African bloc. He was at the table in Lagos with 15 other heads of state and government in May 1975. ECOWAS plunged into crisis after Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger declared their withdrawal from the bloc last month. The region has also been rocked by President Macky Sall's sudden decision to delay elections in Senegal. The turmoil has brought the almost 50-year-old bloc's broader role into doubt, especially after its warning of a potential military intervention in Niger last year fizzled out with no sign the country's toppled president is closer to being restored.
Armed groups that have been controlling Libya's capital for more than a decade have agreed to leave. The interim minister, who is part of the UN-recognized government, made the announcement on Wednesday. The militias with whom the government struck a deal are the General Security Force, the Special Deterrence Force, Brigade 444, Brigade 111 and the Stability Support Authority. The heavily armed and equipped groups who receive public funds would install checkpoints. They were often involved in fighting each other. Emergency police, city officers and criminal investigators will replace them in Tripoli and other cities, Minister Imad Trabelsi said. Policing Libya became a challenge following a NATO-backed uprising and an operation which plunged the nation into chaos in 2011. The country has since been split between rival administrations. In mid-February, the UN Special Envoy for Libya called the warring political actors to put aside their interests and work to solve the political crisis.
And now in sports news, Copper Queens captain Barbara Banda says the team is focused on what lies ahead and will not be intimidated by the Black Queens of Ghana when the two sides meet tomorrow in a 2024 Paris Olympics third round first leg qualifier. Banda said in an interview with the Fuzz Media team at ACCRA City Hotel that she expected a tough game against Ghana, being the first leg away from home, but were focused at the task ahead. She said the team knew what was at stake and would put themselves together despite losing their teammate Noreen Betani early this week. Sincere apologies for that clip which has no audio. However, we now take a look at the headlines before we go. Former President Edgar Lungu sued for unsettled debt. KACHASU traders in Lusaka struggle to find alternative livelihoods. Ruling UPND-SILWIZYA ward councillor NANYANGWE re-elected as deputy mayor. And in international news, Libyan government strikes deal with militias. And in sports news, Copper Queens hold first training in Accra. And now, before we go, we look at the Camnet verse of the day, which comes from the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7. And it says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." That's it. That's all we had for the news. Don't forget to join us for another bulletin on behalf of the entire news team. Have a blessed night.